Now, President Paul Kagame says that the fact that Rwanda did not sink in revenge during the liberation struggle and also stopping of the genocide against the Tutsi is what has placed Rwanda where it is today. Let's find out more on this report.
When you are there, even you having been affected.
The head of state said this while holding discussions with students from the Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, after inaugurating the new location of the school at the Kigali Innovation City. President Paul Kagame, who liberated the country and stopped the Tutsi genocide, was asked by one of the students what was the secret that was used for the RPA soldiers not to revenge having come back to a country that had seen their families killed. Here, the President of the Republic said that it was not an easy thing because at the time there was no judiciary.
And the young man who was fighting, for example, for his country, comes back and finds, the family is no longer, the other one is responsible, and because he has a weapon in his hand, kills the other one. And they have to stand in the middle and say, well, you can't do that. So to make sure that you don't do that and somebody else doesn't do it, you go to prison. You wait until we have justice. But justice was not anywhere. We've seen, because we didn't have institutions, even the basic ones, to try and give justice. So if we allow this to happen, actually we would all be wiped out. The cycle would just kill all of us, more or less.
The president also said that all this is needed for people to put their feelings behind and put the benefit of the country ahead for the betterment of the country.
The consequence of failing in this case would have been even more costly than what we had already faced. Therefore, understanding that forces you to do certain things beyond just the ordinary. This was, if I may, personally, one of my most difficult moments. But it was a testing time, and in fact, having in a way, to an extent, succeeded in this, I don't mind failing in everything else.
After 25 years, there are those who say that after going through the atrocities, this gives them strength to work for the country and for it to be seen as a role model for most countries when it comes to unity and reconciliation and speedy development. A cross-section of the students at the Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, like Newton Moi from Kenya and Abigail Woolley from Cameroon, say that talking to the president was a great honor to them as he is their role model.
President Kagame is a very inspirational leader, especially for young people like me. On a personally, he is a very inspirational leader, and I'm very glad to have heard from his wisdom and had his vision for the country and his vision for the young people of Rwanda. He's empowering people to go out there and bring solutions and be the next leaders of Africa and take Africa to the next level.
The president of Rwanda is a very wise man. Like, I sat down listening to him and I'm so inspired by his leadership, the things he's done. And even as a person, not just looking at him as someone who is up there, as a person, he understands what other people go through. And I think there's quite a lot of things to learn from him. And if Africa as a continent you have leaders like this, I'm sure we're going to really, really go far.
The director of the Carnegie Mellon University Africa, Professor Vijay Kumar Bhagvatula, explained that having the president hold talks with the students is an indicator of just how the president values the students and Africa.
Typically, older people like me, when we get questions from students, we dismiss them. These are young kids. That was not his attitude at all. He actually engaged them in serious dialogue and discussion, and I think this was a golden moment for our students to have that kind of input from the leader of this country.
Carnegie Mellon University Africa was established in 2011 and has graduated around 200 students. Currently, the university has 130 students from 17 African nations.